Hi everyone, thank you for joining me once again. Today we are going to talk about gates, thresholds, and rituals that allow us to transform from one state to the other, such as dance. In the mythologies of the ancient Near East, thresholds, doors, and doorsteps are something that you need to be very aware when you are crossing. Doorsteps and even windows were considered to be something that marks the line between what is safe and not, and sometimes what is sacred and holy, and the other side. The thresholds were considered to be so sensitive that you had to protect them. We talked about phenomena such as the mezuzah or chuppah stone, chuppah stein, that were marking those places as places that need some kind of extra protection. So when you step into a prayer house, when you step into your house, if you have the mezuzah, if you have the chuppah stone, it protects you if you're creating a certain ritual. And those things were not only present within the physical world. The whole concept of crossing some kind of a doorstep was something that was part of the philosophical and the belief system of people within the area. Places in nature such as caves that resembled either wombs or entrances into other worlds beneath or above the land were also considered those gates, and people were very cautious around them and saw them as sacred places. In the mythical stories, we hear about a lot of gods and goddesses that are crossing gates, such as Inanna, who is crossing 7 gates on her way to the underworld, where she will actually die and then be reborn when someone is coming to save her. And in each and every gate, she needs to leave one symbol that is protecting her the way she is. And when she is going through this entire journey, she can actually be reborn and learn a new lesson, and also learn about your place in the world. In temples, when you enter the temple, you were crossing from the real world into a sacred place when you were in the presence of the gods and goddesses. So you were actually stepping into a physical place within this world, but you were transforming to a place that, from this point of how you view your consciousness, you were actually crossing to a completely different realm. If you walked into temples in the ancient world, you will have all of these different sacred divine figures and creatures, such as the Lamassu. If you ever went into the British Museum, you will see them at the entrance. They have the body of a lion, the face, the head of a human with a beard and wings. They would guard the entrance or the gate to the temple, and sometimes also the city gates, because those places were known for the fact that people used to sign contracts near those gates or even judge one another, because these were areas of transformation that was sacred on one hand and also needed a lot of protection on the other hand. Those things will later be connected to places as crossroads. For example, we know that there are people that are viewing Hecate, the Greek goddess, as a goddess of witchcraft and magic, and sometimes of crossroads. Now, she is a very ancient entity, maybe originating from the area of Anatolia. Probably she started as a goddess of fertility and marriage, and because she was connected to fertility and things growing from the earth in different seasons, and also people getting married and also having children, she became a goddess that is connected to transformations, things that are transforming. This will later, as she will enter the Greek pantheon, she's probably more ancient than the Olympian Greek pantheon, will turn her into a goddess of crossroads and transformations, and some of the rituals until today are connected to this element that is connected to what she represents. One of the most interesting rituals that you can do within temples to transform from one state to the other was dancing. Dancing with gods and goddesses and for gods and goddesses, especially goddesses. The dancing was considered to be a sacred ritual that allowed you to transform and be very wild, but in a good way, connected to your core, and actually call upon the goddess and also respect her through this dancing. In Jewish mysticism, later on, characters that were considered to be wild and independent, such as Mahalat, Lilith, and Naama, would be known for their ability to dance with other wild features, such as long hair and very strong will. Within Jewish mysticism itself, the whole concept of gates is very present. The heavens are being created as a place that has gates. Now, it's not necessarily physical gates, but they do represent gates of wisdom, gates of enlightenment. They're considered to the spheres, the different aspects of the divine. And if you can cross one, you can keep on learning and evolve spiritually and cross into the other. If you're not worthy to go from one level to the other, then there will be someone that is keeping the gate and will not let you continue. But if you are worthy, they will open the door for you. They say that there are 50 different gates of wisdom, and the only person that actually got through 49 of them is Moses in the desert. Heaven, for example, is now enclosed with a gate, and within the entrance of this gate, we have a fiery sword, probably being held by a guard, a divine guard, because only if you are truly worthy, you can enter heaven upon the decision of the divine. Some people can trick the way to go through those gates using either sacred names or magical acts, but someone will push you back down because you need to go through it the right way. And if you want to be worthy of a certain knowledge, then you need to cross the gate after evolving properly. There are also certain times that are considered to be gates. New moon, the Shabbat, the day of Shabbat, half of the night. These are places that, like in ancient days, you can transform from one state to the other and go into something which is more sacred or ask for grace. What do you think of gates and doors as symbols of places where the worlds meet, either physically or spiritually? And how do you think we should behave when we're crossing one? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.